There is a long list of responsibilities that election judges have throughout Election Day. Today, we are going to go over all responsibilities and procedures pertaining to the Unison voting equipment. There are two different machines that you will be trained on to facilitate the tabulation of results for Election Day. These two machines are the OVO tabulator and the FET touchscreen. Before setting up the OVO tabulator, you must verify that there are no ballots in the ballot box. First, verify that the auxiliary bin is empty by placing the blue key into the right side lock on the back of the ballot box and turning to the left. Pull the auxiliary bin towards you to expose the inside compartment and verify that the bin is completely empty. If there are no ballots present, close and lock the auxiliary bin back into place. Next, ensure that the ballot box is empty as well by inserting the same blue key into the left side lock on the back of the ballot box and turn to the left. Remove the auxiliary bin from the back of the ballot box and verify that there are no ballots in the ballot box. If you find any ballots in the auxiliary bin or the ballot box, call your election authority immediately. Now that the ballot box has been securely checked, it is time to set up the OVO tabulator. Slide the tabulator onto the top of the ballot box and lock it into place with the blue key. There are two locks to lock the tabulator into place. If the key is not locking all the way, push the OVO tabulator further into the ballot box. This strictly means the tabulator is not all the way pushed in. Next, plug the power cord into the back right corner of the OVO. The power cord slot is located behind the tabulator's touchscreen. Then, plug the other end of the power cord into a power source. Turn on the unit by flipping the switch next to the power cord plug-in. Gently lift the screen into the display position and prop it up with its built-in kickstand. Patiently wait as the OVO tabulator boots up. This process takes about 3 minutes. Once the unit turns on, the election password screen appears. Enter the election password that has been provided to you by your election authority. The OVO will then print a machine info report. Remove this from the unit and store it properly to bring back to the election authority at the end of the day. The tabulator will then print a zero report for each ballot style. Review each report to verify that all vote totals are 0 for all candidates and propositions. There are lines at the bottom of each report for all election judges to sign. If additional copies are needed, press the Print Copy button down at the bottom of the screen. If there are no additional copies needed, press Done. The OVO tabulator is now ready for voters. If at any point during the setup of the OVO tabulator device an issue appears, contact the election authority immediately. The FET touchscreen is the ADA compliant device that is required during federal elections to assist voters in the voting process. To set up the FET, locate your blue key and unlock the lock on the front of the device. Undo each latch on both sides of the blue lid, remove it, and set aside. Lift the tablet until it is in a comfortable position for voters to read and lock into place by placing the pin behind the screen into a hole on the electrical cover. Remove the ADA keypad and the headphones from the compartment behind the screen. Place the keypad next to the unit. Insert the headphone cord into the audio jack, which is located on the right-hand side of the tablet. Place both the ADA keypad and the headphones to the side of the FET touchscreen so they are easily accessible for any voter that needs them. Plug the power cord into the back left of the unit and into a power source. Flip the switch next to the power cord to turn the unit on. The Election Day screen appears and asks confirmation that it is Election Day. Press Yes. An open report will print. Verify that the public count is 0. and sign the line. The FET will now ask if you need additional copies. Press No. The welcome screen now appears and is ready for voters. If at any point during the setup of the FET touchscreen an issue appears, contact the election authority immediately. There are two ways voters can vote with the Unison voting equipment: a paper ballot or by using the FET, the ADA compliant device. All voters can choose one option or the other, but the FET touchscreen will need to be available throughout the day for any voters that need assistance during the voting process. When a voter arrives at the polling place, check them in either by locating their application to vote or by use of an electronic poll book. The voter will need to sign the application or poll book to ensure their signature matches the signature the county has on file. Once the signatures have been verified, locate the ballot style number on the voter's application. This will determine which contests the voter is eligible to vote on. If it is a primary election, ask which party's ballot the voter would like to vote and mark on their application. Kindly ask the voter which voting option they would prefer. The voter will inform the election judge which option they would like to choose, and the election judge will proceed accordingly. If the voter chooses the paper ballot option, the election judge would initial the right-hand corner of the ballot and hand it to the voter. A ballot privacy cover should also be handed to the voter to ensure the voter feels their selections are kept private. The voter would then proceed to a voting booth and completely darken the ovals for their selections. Once the voter is finished with their ballot, they bring it to the OVO tabulator. An election judge needs to be stationed near the ballot box to verify that the voter's ballot was initialed and read by an election judge. The entire ballot should not be looked at, strictly the upper right-hand corner of the ballot's header. When the light is green, the voter inserts the ballot into the OVO tabulator in any orientation they would like. There is a sign connected to the ballot box informing voters to wait until the light is green before inserting their ballot. If there are no issues with the voter's ballot, the ballot drops into the ballot box, and the screen tells the voter their ballot was cast successfully and thank you for voting. If there is an issue with the ballot will kick back out towards the voter. The tabulator screen will alert the voter of the issues. It will list out all contests in question and whether the contest is overvoted or undervoted. If the voter is unhappy with their ballot, they can spoil their ballot to an election judge and receive a new blank ballot. But if the voter is content with their selections, they can checkmark the Accept Ballot box on the tabulator screen and rescan the ballot. The screen will inform the voter their ballot was cast successfully and thank you for voting. The public count, or number of ballots cast, is located in the lower right-hand corner of the tabulator screen. This number should match the number of spindled applications, or number of check-ins, to the electronic poll book. The other voting option for voters is to vote on the Freedom Vote tablet, or FVT. This is the ADA-compliant device that is required for federal elections. The FET can be used by any voter, but it does need to be readily available for any voter that needs assistance during the voting process. If a voter chooses this option, locate the keyring with the precinct's barcodes. Locate the barcode that lists the voter's ballot style based on his or her application to vote. If it is a primary election, the barcodes will be printed by color to represent each political party's color. Once the correct barcode is located, walk the voter over to the FVT device and scan the barcode underneath the barcode reader. Once the barcode has been scanned, verify that the screen lists out the proper precinct and ballot style associated with the voter. Inform the voter that this device does not tabulate results, so when their ballot is printed, it will then need to be cast into the OVO tabulator. Step away from the FET and allow the voter to make their selections in private. The voter then selects the Start button to begin voting. At any point in the voting process, the voter needs assistance. There is a pair of headphones plugged into the tablet and a Braille keypad. If a sip and puff device will be used, that device can be inserted into the keypad next to the binary input. At any point during the voting session, the voter can also change the settings by selecting the gear button at the bottom of the screen. Some settings that are adjustable would be text size, audio tempo, audio volume, and contrast and brightness of the screen. The voter can also click the question mark button at the bottom of the screen to read the instructions on how to use the FET device. To select a candidate or take on a measure, the voter simply selects the target next to their selection. The voter is not able to overvote on the FET, meaning that if the contest is a vote for one, they can only select one candidate. If they made a mistake, they must unselect their current choice and select a new one. To move from one race to the next, there are arrows down at the bottom, or they can swipe with their finger. The voter must view every contest, but they are not obligated to vote on every contest. Once they have viewed and/or voted every contest, a Done button appears. The voter will now be directed to a summary review screen showing their selections. The voter will verify that they made their selections correctly. If they made a mistake, there is a Change button next to each contest's selections. Once they have reviewed their entire ballot, the Print button appears. The voter selects Print and a paper ballot is printed to the right of the tablet. When the voter brings their ballot to the OVO tabulator, some election authorities will instruct the election judge to initial the back of the FET ballot in red before the voter casts their ballot. Ensure that the voter has turned their ballot over for the initials, so their votes are not shown to you. Contact your election authority to determine whether they would like the FET ballot initialed before it is inserted into the ballot box. When the light is green, the voter inserts the ballot between the two red arrows in any orientation they would like. The screen will inform the voter that their ballot was cast successfully and thank you for voting. All ballots cast through the OVO tabulator are sealed in the ballot box by a lock and a security seal. In the event of a power outage or machine malfunction, turn the ballot box around to expose the auxiliary bin. The voters will drop their ballots into the auxiliary bin until the issue has subsided. After the polls close, 2 election judges, one from each political party, will scan these ballots into the OVO tabulator before closing the polls. If any problems arise throughout Election Day, contact your election authority immediately for assistance. At 7 p.m., announce that the polls are closed. Any voters in line at that time will be able to vote their ballot. Have one election judge stand at the end of the line to signify which voters were in line before the polls were closed. Once all voters have cast their ballots, ensure that the public count on the OVO matches the number of spindled applications or check-ins on their electronic poll book. Verify that there are not any ballots in the auxiliary bin that need to be cast through the OVO tabulator. If there are ballots, 2 election judges, one from each political party, will need to scan each ballot into the tabulator. After the public count and the auxiliary bin have been checked, it is time to officially close voting on the 2 Unison devices. To close voting on the OVO tabulator, press the hidden button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. You will not actually see the words "hidden button" on the screen. The election password screen will appear. Enter the election password that was provided by the election authority and press Enter. The administrative menu will appear. Press Close Voting. The screen will now ask if you would like to close voting. Press Yes twice. The OVO is now tabulating the election results. This process may take a few minutes based on how many votes were cast. The election summary will print automatically once the process is complete for each precinct. If your polling location has 3 precincts, each precinct will have their own election summary with the name of the precinct listed at the beginning of the report. If required, print additional copies from the screen by selecting the Print Copy button at the bottom of the screen. Sign the lines at the bottom of the election summary. Once all copies have been printed, press Continue. If the county has a declared write-in, the write-in screen will appear. Uncheck the box next to Compress Images and press Yes. The write-in report will print. For additional copies, press Print Copy. Use your write-in tally sheet to tally the number of votes for valid write-in candidates, only based on the write-in report. The list of valid write-in candidates will be provided to you by the election authority. If there are no write-ins found, write None across your write-in tally sheet. Press Continue on the screen once all copies of the write-in report are printed. The tabulator now tells you that it is time to shut the unit down. Press the Shutdown button. It will then ask if you would like to shut it down. Press Yes. Wait about 20 seconds until the screen goes black and says No signal. Flip the switch in the back of the OVO and pull out the power cord. If instructed to remove the TM stick from the compartment, press and hold the button on the right side of the display screen and lift. This will reveal the TM door. Break the security seal. On your keyring, locate the barrel key and use it to open the TM door to remove the TM. Close and lock the TM door back after the TM has been removed. Return the screen to the transport position for transport. If instructed to bring back the OVO tabulator, locate the blue key and unlock the tabulator from the ballot box. Pull the OVO towards you and gently place in the carrying case provided. Remove all voted ballots from the back of the ballot box by placing the blue key into the left side lock on the back of the ballot box. Place all voted ballots in the box or case provided and seal. To close voting on the FVT, scan the orange Close barcode. The Close Voting screen will ask you to confirm if you want to close voting. Press Yes twice. A close report will print. There are no vote totals shown on this device because the FVT does not tabulate any results. If additional copies are needed, press Yes. Sign all copies of the close report on the lines provided. Once you are satisfied with your close reports, press No. Use the pin tool provided on your keyring to shut the FVT down. Place and hold the pin tool into the hole underneath the headphone jack on the tablet. Hold pin tool into the device until the power off option appears. Press power off. The unit will tell you that it is now shutting down. Press OK. Once the screen goes black, flip the switch off in the back of the unit. Pull the pin behind the screen and allow it to slide slowly into the shipping position. Lastly, return the ADA keypad, power cord, and headphones to the storage compartment located behind the screen. Reconnect the blue lid to the top of the FVT. Latch the latches and lock the device with the blue key provided. Both units are now ready to be brought back to the election authority. For more specific instructions on the Unison voting equipment procedures for your county, please contact your election authority. Thank you for your dedication to upholding the integrity of the election process.